Good morning. It is Saturday, the 13th, I believe. I just had my morning errands of, shopping and groceries and things like that. And now I am going to plant my Greenstalk. If you don't know what a Greenstalk is, it is a vertical planter system. And I really love it because my ground here is sand and I'm just not prepared to amend it enough to plant vegetables. And also it requires a lot less bending over. And it's hard for me with the size of my kidneys. We had a major storm earlier in the week and I want to buy my plants by keeping them in the garage because usually the weekend of Mother's Day is when you start planting here in Denver. And so there's a huge rush at the garden center. I did not start my seeds. Again, this is only my second year at the Greenstalk. Maybe next year I'll start seeds. I did, however, buy too many plants. And so I actually have a little half wine barrel or a little half whiskey barrel. I'm going to plant with strawberries, which I had meant to put in my Greenstalk, but since I have too much stuff, this will work out better. So my Greenstalk is going to be entirely lettuce and herbs. Before I get started, I want to tell you what I did earlier in the week. First and foremost, I amended my last year's soil. It costs a lot of money to buy potting soil. And so I had soil in there from last year. And what I did was refresh it based on what I've seen online. So I took the previous potting soil, dumped it into a baby, little plastic swimming pool, and then broke it up because it's very, very stuck together and dry, and then added a new bag of soil, mixed those together with a lot of water to get it moist, and then use that to refill the bucket. So I was able to, what took me, I think 8 or 9 bags of potting soil last year to fill, only took me 2 fresh bags of potting soil to amend with my previous soil. And then I just added some fresh fertilizer, slow release, to the top. And I did that earlier. I did that, I think, last weekend, so that this weekend, all I'd have to do was plant. I do have a big bag of potting mix to fill up this barrel. Now, I normally would just put some mulch or some plastic bottles in the bottom to add for drainage, but I don't really have any. So I'm just gonna fill it up. It's small, so it should be fine. I don't plan on moving it. All right, so here are the plants. We've got mint and lemon verbena. I've got some catnip, couple things of parsley, got 4 basils, 2 parsleys, 2 cilantros, whole bunch of lettuce, the strawberries, and then because of how I'm rearranging how I'm doing it, I also picked up at TJ's today some thyme and some rosemary. I've also got these bulbs to put in, daylilies and irises, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that today or if I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I don't know how much energy I'm gonna have. And then there is the barrel. I think that's the position it's going to be in. And then there are my Greenstalk sections. Here are the watering bits that go inside it. And it's going to go right there on the corner where it went last year. I decided that I wanted the herbs to mainly be on the bottom 2 tiers, although there's a couple I left for the top. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the way that I planted these, the soil was super moist, but it wasn't because I had finished watering it that day. It was because we had gotten rain the night before, and it actually made it really perfect for transplanting plants. So what I did was just pull them out of each of their little plastic thing, their little containers, and then make sure to loosen the roots up a little bit, and then I put them in. There was extra soil because I filled these up to the top, and I just transported that, just grabbed it with my hands and took it over to the wine barrel to start filling that up. I only wound up using about 1/3 of the big bag when I finally got there, but I can save the rest for other planting projects that I'm going to have coming up. I am a little concerned already about the runner coming off of this mint, that long stringy bit that's coming off, because mint is notorious for taking everything over, and I'm just a little worried that it might take over some of my other cells in the Greenstalk, but who knows. When you're done filling the thing, you put the water tray on and then you place the next one on top. This can be tricky. I did this with Jessie before and I was doing it by myself this time to get it to fit and to not crush your plants. So that does take a little extra work, but it's worth it in the end. When I picked the herbs that we were going to actually use in this green stock, I mean, I wasn't going to go through all this goddamn effort to grow things we're not going to use. So I very specifically picked stuff based on what we did last year and what we used the most. So last year in my green stock, I had herbs, I had strawberries, I had lettuces, and then I gave the bottom tier up, the bottom two tiers to green beans and tomatoes and peppers, and I think it was cucumber, maybe it was zucchini, I don't remember. Either way, those bottom two tiers, the green beans did start to make beans, but the beans were shrimpy and there wasn't very many of them. And I would need like a whole green stock of green beans just to feed my whole family one meal, and I wasn't about that life. Notice that I skipped the filming here of one of the tiers. I forgot to turn my camera on. But it's the lettuces, and of everything I grew last year, we used the shit out of the herbs and the lettuces and the strawberries. I did not, however, last year plant enough lettuce for more than one of us to have a bowl of salad at a time. So this time I decided to do 2+ tiers of lettuce, a full tier of one lettuce, a full tier of a second lettuce, and then the top tier being some more lettuces with the last of the herbs. However, I did run into a problem with the red leaf lettuce starts that I got here. They were very fragile. I lost several of them in the transplanting process, but because I still had so many extra plants, I did okay. With the herbs and with everything else, I was planting 1 per pocket, but with the lettuces, you can do up to 3, and so I did 3 in some and 2 in the other. This head lettuce up here at the top, this green lettuce, actually went a lot better. So because lettuces and herbs went so well for us last year, I wanted to have enough lettuce for all of us to eat lettuce at one time, and then the herbs that we use the most. So lots of basil, because we love pesto in this house, we love caprese salads, we love chimichurri, so a lot of basil, a lot of Italian parsley for the same reason. I like to put parsley in my pestos as well as chimichurri. And then I put a couple cilantros, which was the one herb that didn't do great last year, but I just need to make sure it sees the sun enough. The green stock is cool if you get the little rotating wheel because you can turn it based on where the sun is at any given time. And even though my front yard does get a lot of sun during the day, it doesn't get full sun all the time. So having the ability to turn it is actually very helpful. And then as for the other herbs, I just picked a mixture of things I know we use. Some chives, some mint, some rosemary, some thyme, and then the lemon verbena and the catnip, which are the 2 that I wound up putting on top of the green stock. The lemon verbena because it's so tall and it flowers and it's really pretty, and the catnip because we do have one cat that loves to come and antagonize Lou, and I figured if we get the catnip out of the way, hopefully, maybe he won't notice it. We shall see. This top piece that I'm putting on here is actually the part of the green stock that waters the whole system. So it has like lines in it to let you know how many tiers you have, how much water to put in. You fill this thing with water and then it trickles down into all of those little discs in the other situations and then gradually drip waters the plants. It's a really cool system. And then at the bottom there is a hose that will take any runoff out. It's just really helpful. It's one of the ways that can keeping my plants alive without murdering them, because I tend to murder my plants. to plant the strawberries, I had all that soil that I pulled from the Greenstalk, and then I dumped in a bunch of the new soil from the bag, and then I got it really wet so that it could start to absorb. Because with a lot of soil, the first time you get it wet, the water will just go through it. You need to really saturate it to get the water to stay. Once I did that, I added some fertilizer, mixed it in, put my strawberries on top, and then to finish the soil off, I took this super waterlogged leftover stuff that was in the baby pool from the storm and mixed in the new soil with it so that it would get nice and wet, and then put that on top. I also had to take a few minutes here and rest because I have fucking kidney disease and I'm in kidney failure, and despite feeling better with dialysis, I was feeling pretty rough at this point. I had hoped to put the bulbs in the ground, but that's just gonna have to be another day. It's the reality when you're not feeling good and you have chronic illness, you do the best that you can, right? This is the best that I could do, and I did overdo it. The rest of the night I was kind of regretting how hard I overdid it. These two right here. So I have them in the thumbnail, but they didn't do any of the work.
What do you mean?
But they're cute. Okay,
we
so
provided
Jesse
moral
helped,
support.
and Jesse did help film 1 or 2 bits, but now poor Layla. Layla, what's going on? Do you not know what's happening? I was gonna plant the bulbs today. I just don't have the energy. It took me probably about an hour. What time is it? Yeah, about an hour, hour and a half to get that all done. It was a lot better because I had done the soil ahead of time, and what I wound up... He just put her down, okay?
No.
I don't think that...
You reviewed the playback.
Anyway, I think doing the soil ahead of time really helped in terms of time. I know it helped. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you are putting any type of herbs or anything, whether it's in your yard or in your windowsill, let me know in the comments below. What are you growing? Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, friends. Peace.